So, okay, here's what happened is I finished Criminal Minds and I was like, I'm going to watch Evil. And I searched it on Just Watch and there were multiple things called Evil.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure which one I was meant to be watching. And so I put on an in-between show. I'm rewatching What We Do in the Shadows. But that's only going to take like a week.
So you almost did it. I'm actually really proud that you at least went the step of trying to look up where you could watch it.
I'm going to watch it. I just need you to like send me a link to exactly what I need to be watching.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up on Just Watch. So not sponsored, but would like to be.
Would love to be. JustWatch.com or download the app.
It's the
top one? Okay.
Yeah, the 2019 show. 2019. It says available on Prime Video.
I got confused because when I was searching for it, I was like, oh, I guess I thought that this was not fiction. I guess I thought it was like a documentary, but it's fiction.
Oh, yeah. But the way that I just really like the way that they play it because it is like questionable on whether or not things are, I don't know. It blurs the line and it makes supernatural stuff seem more realistic and less fantastical.
Okay.
Which I really like about the show. I don't know. 10 out of 10 would recommend. 9 out of 10. I don't know. I'm watching the new season and the most recent episode. I don't want to like spoil anything, but it is the demon of memes. So it was pretty good.
I'm trying to think of what that demon's name would be. And the only thing coming to mind is Leroy Jenkins.
I think everyone would agree with you on that one.
Leroy Jenkins.
I think that enough people would agree that is a demon, so that works. Anywho, so you guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to No Show the Monster.
Where we have to live with the monster in our democracy every day. Yeah. Is it a democracy? That's another.
It's not. It's an oligarchy. Is it an oligarchy?
Right now?
That'll be an entire episode. Is this the episode where in the middle of it, we had to pause to talk about the election? And then
is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So you guys, we're recording this after we recorded the episode. And in the episode, we had to pause because we started talking about the 2016 election and how sad we were. And then Friday happened. This is now after that Friday. You guys know the Friday we're talking about.
Yeah, just for posterity, the Supreme Court just shot down Roe v. Wade. So that sucks.
Yeah, I think we had talked. We didn't, maybe not on the pod about it previously because we know that the draft was leaked. We knew that this was coming, but it hits so much harder when it's real.
Yeah, and it's especially shitty because the Democrats are like, "Oh,
give me money.
We'll meet in a couple weeks to talk about this." What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's important that you pitch in and you vote. What are you guys doing? What do you guys do? We did that.
I did vote. You're in power. You are in power. Do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden keeps being like, somebody should do something. Yeah, bitch, you should do something. You are the leader of the free world. Do something. You know what? I hope that you fall off a bike every time you get on a bike.
So I do know I just made that joke, but I have worn clip-in pedals, and they're hard for people that are not capable. And I am a not capable person. Have I fallen off because my leg has been stuck in a clip?
Listen,
yes.
I understand that.
But I am a young woman, not an old man. I feel like old men are supposed to be more, they're supposed to be smarter than us, right? They're supposed to be more effective.
That's how they're making their laws. So yeah. Oh, this sucks. This sucks dicks. And not in a sexy fun way. We can't do sexy fun stuff anymore. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is just going to be a sort of a longish episode because we are going to talk about Scream 2. But before that, we do want to talk about the state of the nation.
State of the nation.
Yeah. It's this. We're doing an address. Oh my God. Okay. Laughing to keep from crying. Am I right?
Yeah. And if you guys don't understand where we stand on this, you probably haven't listened to very many episodes.
Yeah. Like just to say it outright, we are both super pro-choice. People should have autonomy over their bodies. Everybody should get to make the choices for their bodies that are best for them. And the only people who should be participating is the person who has to make a decision and their doctor. That's it. End of list. Supreme Court, get the fuck out.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? What year is it? What the fuck are we doing? Oh my God.
Dismantling democracy. It's a plan that they've had all along. We are lagging behind because we don't play dirty. It's fine. It's not fine. Nothing's fine. I am done saying it's fine. I'm done sitting in a house on fire. Like, nothing's fine. Nothing's okay. Fine. This is not okay. But Kelly has some resources for you to
yeah, I wanted to just give you some options to think about, specifically donating, and we will talk about more tangible acts afterward, but let's discuss that first. So there are a couple places that I am setting up recurring donations for that I think that we should all consider. First of all is the Center for Reproductive Rights. So they are a global organization of lawyers and advocates who are fighting to ensure that reproductive rights are codified in law as fundamental human rights. And that's something that we all need globally, not just Americans. Everybody needs that. Every person should be able to
make their own decision.
Exactly. Like, we should all have power over our bodies.
That is
insane. This is insane that we are doing this. Okay. Up next is, and I'm going to put links to all of this in the show description. So just bippity bop on down there and click the links. Up next is NARAL, which is US specific, as far as I know. And they are an organization working to educate people broadly about reproductive freedom and specifically fighting to elect leaders who are going to support reproductive freedom and fight for our right to abortion. So that's critical. And oh my God, so important right now are abortion funds. Find your local abortion fund, donate to them. They are working to break down the logistical and financial barriers to abortion access. You can find local ones to you, or you can donate like generally at abortionfunds.org, and they will divvy up your donation across the board. I would suggest finding one local to you, but do what feels right. You have a choice. I am granting you the choice on where to donate. Oh my God. Okay. A reminder that monthly donations are the most helpful, even if they're a small dollar amount. Like, if all you have is $5 a month, set that up recurring. That's going to help these orgs like determine their monthly budget. Monthly donations are so critical. And if you can just do a one-off, like, I'm not saying that that's not worthwhile. Do that, absolutely. But if you can swing a monthly donation, please do. Just a quick reminder, do not call abortion fund hotlines asking how you can help. A lot of people are doing that right now, and like, that's very noble, and it's great that you want to help and get involved, but those hotlines should be reserved specifically for people looking for abortion access. Like, if you want to help, and that is great, I encourage you to do so. Find an email instead. These are not well-staffed organizations. These are very small operations, and you taking up those phone calls is clogging the lines. So definitely try to reach out and help, but do not call the hotlines.
Alternatively, could you volunteer for the hotlines?
It would be great if you could volunteer for the hotlines. That would be stellar, but like, don't call the hotline in order to orchestrate.
Do the opposite.
Yeah. like send an email and say, can I help for the hotline? And that sort of brings me into my next point. If you call to assist with the hotline, they are going to provide you training in order to do so. They're not just going to like have you answering phones and winging it, which is a crucial role of abortion funds right now. So you offering your guest room again, is like super noble. Like offering your guest room to people who are having to travel out of state in order to access the medical care that they need is great. But what you should be doing is volunteering with these abortion funds. They are going to train everybody involved on how to operate in the best way possible to make sure that these people who are looking for help are treated with dignity and can trust everybody involved. So, to those of you, again, trying to just offer your room ad hoc online, your heart is in the right place, but why should they trust you? Anybody could be doing that. A bunch of rats can be doing that. A bunch of Republicans can be doing that to just immediately sell you out.
I mean, we all know that there are, to every clinic, there are like 5 anti-abortion clinics that are they try to guilt and shame people into making different choices. And that is the same thing with people that might happen. So focus on other things. I know that you're probably good. Great heart would take care of someone. However, putting people in these positions, the 5 people that don't end up getting you might get someone.
Right. There are bad actors out there. And even if you are a good actor, if you don't have this training, you could be totally like, your heart could be in the right place all day long, but you could say the wrong thing. You know, you could trigger somebody, you could be disrespectful in some way. And honestly, these people looking for help don't owe you anything. Like, being in your house means that they have to like talk to you, and what they really need is a hotel with the people that they trust and who support them. So reach out to your abortion funds if you want to volunteer, and I'm sure that there are ways for you to help. I am still searching out how to work here. The abortion fund in Denver that I found is like church related, and that makes me nervous. And they are like part of the National Abortion Fund organization, so I'm sure that they are fine, but I need to spend the time to do my own research so that I feel better. Like, I don't want to throw my lot in with a religious organization, especially on something like this.
I would say my favorite preacher in where we're from in Arkansas is, he has made many posts about how terrible Friday was and how everything is terrible. So that's excellent. I think that there are plenty of Christians who are focusing in the right area.
Absolutely.
So, and that church, the church-led fund might be one of the positive ones, but I feel like the people who are actually practicing the teachings of Christ would be supporting those funds. I think that that's the big difference.
Oh my God. I know, it's such bullshit. Like, I don't believe in Jesus, but according to y'all's mythology, he was a cool dude. So why are you doing this? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It doesn't white supremacy. So like, if that's a big thing about this, and it's fucking gross. It's gross.
It's super gross. Okay. This is a chipper start to an episode.
Guys. Oh, I laugh when I'm uncomfortable and
I know, same. And like, I don't know. We chatted before we started recording, and we were both like trying not to cry. So this is the best we can do right now. In addition to donating, there are some things that you can do to protect yourself, especially if you are in a state with dreadful abortion laws.
Which a lot of our listeners are, because we're from a state that has dreadful abortion
like Arkansas
laws.
had the trigger law. So immediately when they shut down Roe v. Wade, abortion was no longer legal in Arkansas, which is where we are both from. So, God, that fucking sucks. Okay. This all fucking sucks. Okay. Especially, I think that everybody should do this, but especially if you are in a state that does not have abortion access or has very restrictive abortion access, you should delete your period tracking apps. Your data is not private there. Those companies do and could sell your data to anybody, including the federal government. So just delete those. In addition to that, if you are going to a clinic for any sort of care that could be perceived as problematic to these assholes, turn your phone off when you go, or better yet, fully just leave it at home. Your geolocation can be tracked through your phone, and Apple has already sold that data or provided that data to cops. So you don't want to do that, and I'm sure the other phone providers do that as well. So just don't provide any information that you don't have to. Related to that, if you are searching for resources on your Wi-Fi, on your personal devices, exactly. Your internet service providers see all of that data, have access to that data. Same situation. They can sell you out. So if you need to search for this, please, please, please use a VPN. A VPN is a good resource for whatever you're doing. We should all have VPNs. If I'm being totally honest, I don't have one. I should. I absolutely should. But especially
whenever we get sponsored, we will discuss what VPN you guys should use.
Yeah. And you're going to have to pay for that. You're going to have to pay for a VPN, which sucks, but I wouldn't trust the free ones. I
don't know what you can trust.
I don't know what you can trust. Oh my God. But
it's fine. Let's not go down.
Your internet service provider has access to your search history, even if you clear your browser history. Clearing your browser history is not enough. Use things like DuckDuckGo, which is a browser that is security focused, but also use a VPN. And even that is not perfect.
100%. Yeah.
So there is still risk there. Related to that, quick reminder that most libraries have computers available, and many of those libraries aren't going to require a library card to access them. And on top of that, most of those libraries are going to wipe user activity between users. So if you need to be researching something, library seems like a pretty good bet. And then just a quick reminder that abortion medication is safe and is still available in all 50 states via mail. I will provide a link to that as well in the show notes. And I really want to stress that medication is safe. However, if you do experience any sort of complications and have to go to the ER, to the doctor, you do not have to disclose that you took anything. Do not say anything. Do not bring that up. Even if they ask you, you do not have to tell them. You do not have to disclose. The treatment for a miscarriage is the same if you have any sort of complication from this medication. So just tell them you are miscarrying and dodge a bullet. I don't like that phrase. Dodge a consequence. I am in a lucky enough position that I am personally reaching out to a doctor about getting sterilized. So I know that I don't want children. I would fully just kill myself if I had to do that. So I am looking for I have found a doctor locally who provides sterilization services to women. And it doesn't have to be women. If you have a uterus, anybody who wants to seek out the service, look for it. I specifically found one here who has treated women before without judgment. When I asked about this from my gynecologist in Arkansas, he said no, because what if my future husband wanted children? And to that,
he's probably on the Supreme Court now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh was my my gynecologist.
I'm so sorry.
Clarence Thomas was my gynecologist. Yeah, so I have received pushback from that before, and So a few years ago, I just got an IUD, which I have loved, and highly recommend that if you can get it. Most insurance will cover it. So I mean, I
Might
guess,
not in the future.
yeah, I
We'll
guess
talk
all
about
of
that in
that
a little
is
bit,
up in
I
the
guess.
air right now. Yeah, I was fortunate enough that my insurance covered it, and it's been great. I am now seeking out a more permanent solution after receiving some pretty shitty comments back in Arkansas when I was originally seeking this out. So I don't know, just something to consider.
And on top of that, male listeners, if you want to, vasectomies are reversible. It would be helpful to everyone. Please, until you're ready and you want one and it's for real, maybe take care of it. It takes like 5 minutes and it's an outpatient surgery. It's like nothing. It's probably less bad than women getting IUDs. So,
oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, you at least get anesthesia for that.
Yeah, no.
Which is, I'm going to have to get my IUD out for the first time, which is what really prompted me to seek out the sterilization. Like, if we're already going to be in there rummaging around, let's just
might as well make it permanent.
Blast it out.
Yeah, I mean, the other side of it is like, so like I'm on oral contraceptives, so, and I have been for over a decade and over I'm for a while, and I don't know, I am, as I've aged, my hormones have definitely messed with a bunch of things to a point where like it is a very difficult thing to deal with. So like having to think about the fact that I'm already taking something to try to prevent it, like I always like had the comfort of if something were to happen, but now that's like being taken away as well. But like, yeah, I don't know. This is just the most upsetting of all the things. But yeah, oral contraceptives would recommend, but be careful. I've had many people have bad reactions to it. And by many people, I mean, I know personally a couple of people who have had bad reactions. I luckily have not. But
we both have stuff going on. Mouse just jumped up on my desk. Ryan sneezing.
Yeah, I luckily have not had any issues with it, aside from a couple things that are like, I don't know, the longer you take it, you keep going to your gynecologist and you're like, oh, this is happening. And they're like, yeah, that's just because you're been on birth control so long. Every year I have a new symptom that's bad. And they're like, it's because you've been on birth control. So yeah, big proponent of vasectomy. So guys, get them.
Yeah, I have a coworker. That's rude. He's a good friend of mine. I love him. I would die for him.
But I just work with him sometimes, I guess.
We don't even work together really anymore. We're at the same company. I don't know, whatever. So he wants to get a vasectomy, but he wants to schedule it so that it aligns with March Madness so that he can like take off work to recover. And I was trying to convince him that we should coordinate our sterilization surgeries so we could just like heal in his living room together.
Are you gonna watch March Madness?
No, I'll be on my phone.
Okay.
But also, I'm just pursuing it now. And he, like, it's not March. It's not going to be March again for a little while. And he needs to do this now.
Down. Yeah, I was like, stuff's coming down hard right now. So if we could just all...
Yeah, let's schedule something for I don't know, what's something fun coming up.
Nope.
The downfall of democracy.
Are we celebrating the 4th anymore? I don't know if
absolutely
I can.
Not. Shortage of independence.
Do it on my birthday.
Yeah, your birthday's
it's a birthday
coming
gift
up.
for it's a birthday gift for me. So thank you.
Happy birthday, Chelsea. I
love it.
I got my friend a vasectomy for you.
Yes, thank you. If you guys want to get me a present for my birthday, a vasectomy for every male. It's reversible. You guys can go back and you can have babies, like if and when you want them.
Oh my God. But even that, so many people are like forced vasectomies. And I'm like, no, that's the same problem on the other side.
Well, vasectomies don't cause you to have all of the terrible symptoms I'm having. So
yeah, no, having a baby is way worse than having a vasectomy for sure.
We're having varicose veins.
I just want everybody to be able to make choices about their own body.
Yeah, for sure. So if you don't want to get a vasectomy, that is your choice as well.
But if you don't want kids,
maybe do that.
Go
or
ahead and
do
get
your
it.
best to stop it from happening.
Oh my God, this sucks. Okay.
There are 2 people.
Okay.
I just remember I watched that thing, the little clip of the lady being like, women can stop sperm from getting into them. And I was like,
no,
I can't.
No.
Who?
Oh my
maybe
God.
You can't. What are you talking about?
There's also, you know what? I'm sorry. Whoops. I just dragged out my soapbox. So there are a bunch of people online right now, like Republican women who are supportive of striking down Roe v. Wade, and they do not understand the implications. I keep seeing these people being like, well, but they're going to make exceptions for incest or rape. No, they're not.
Nope.
Oh, but they're going to make exceptions for like pregnancies that threaten the life of the woman. No, they're not. Like, those are not, do not assume those things. The rule is no abortions. It does not matter what the cause was. I mean, obviously it's like state by state now, but in the worst states, it is not, the circumstances do not matter. You could just die. The treatment for ectopic pregnancies, which a friend of mine just had, she could have died. They, like, her husband found her passed out on the bathroom floor bleeding because of an ectopic pregnancy. And the treatment for that is an abortion. And so there are just going to be people who die from that because it can't be treated.
Because the woman doesn't matter. Just the
woman doesn't matter. Just that little clump of cells. Oh my God.
And I watched a TikTok the other day and this was a couple weeks ago, of a girl who had gone to the hospital because she had really severe blood clots and she was pregnant. And they said that you could have stroke, heart attack, pulmonary embolism any second now. And she was like, okay. She didn't want to, like, aborting her baby wasn't something that she was considering. But the thing that upset her the most is that they kept putting the baby's life ahead of hers the entire conversation. They kept being like, oh, we can't, like, she was like, I just don't understand. She was like, I don't want it to not be an option to me to live. Like, it's not an option on whether or not we live or die. Like, our lives don't matter aside from carrying children, apparently.
Yeah, we're just little incubators at this point.
And that's the most heartbreaking thing, is those are the conversations that are going to continue to happen in doctors' offices. Like, even if the person wants to keep their baby, even if they love them, even if they care about them, like, their life doesn't matter anymore after you get pregnant. Like, that is the most fucked up part. Like, once you get pregnant, you don't matter anymore.
Right.
You no longer matter. Like, your life means nothing. Like, I hope that you survive and I hope everything goes well, but you don't matter anymore. Just that unborn, just the unborn. Which, should we review the movie Unborn? Should that be one that we come up? We do soon? Okay.
Yeah, should this be our next theme? Should we just, like, really get into it?
Man, it's going to be bad. This is already pretty long for an early rant.
I know. Yeah. This is the intro, guys. This is the intro.
Anyway, what did we have left? Just that.
Yeah. What have you got?
This is the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is very heartbreaking, but
this isn't even the beginning. It's been started.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But this is, like, I don't know, they toppled the dominoes. Even in Clarence Thomas's opinion, he did say that he's going to go after same-sex marriage and contraceptives. We're going to lose a lot of stuff coming up, guys. So I don't know. I'm so sad. And I find it so hard to get out of bed in the morning. And it is getting darker. But we got to support each other, and we got to keep our I'm not going to tell you guys to keep your head up, because it's hard. It's fucking hard right now. And I just think that we got to support each other, and we got to work really hard to make it to where we can survive. So my call to action is fucking don't don't just like don't read the emails from politicians. Don't donate to them. Don't just vote. Run for office. Run for office to fight against this bullshit. Fucking kill it. Like, I can't, there needs to be more people that care that are politicians. Like, that's the biggest thing, is that there are a handful of politicians that give a shit. It's just so few of a number that aren't so corrupt and don't think that money solves everything. And the thought that they have to continuously go through all the processes and that things can't change is such bullshit. And I am not okay with it. And I'm not okay with where we're at. And I'm not okay with this being what it is. And I don't think any of our listeners are either. And if you are,
just unfollow.
Please reconsider.
Like, yeah, Chelsea's more compassionate than I am. If you do not agree with this, like, fucking unfollow. I don't want you participating in the show. Like, you're a bad person and I don't agree with you. I
don't fully disagree with that, but I think that there are people that are unwillfully misled.
I'm just saying, if you are still on the fence, like, grow up.
Yeah. This is
also just a quick reminder that this is fully minority rule. Like, the majority of people in the US, I'm not the majority of women, not the majority of liberals, not the majority of leftists. Like, the majority of human beings in the US support the right to choose. So
Tommy Lahren even supports it, because even conservatives understand.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. I hate that bitch.
I know.
And yet I agree with her.
Yeah, because at least she is, like, her values are aligned. She's not making up some bullshit to disalign them to try to, like, cover up something else. She's like, I believe people should have control over themselves, and I believe that, like, everyone should own an AR-15 is what her feeling is, but they should also be able to get an abortion. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm glad that you are
one out of two.
Consistent. Like, why? We're all on the same page here. Like, we all feel like you should be in control of your own self.
This sucks.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I am sorry. There was my soapbox. Let me just kick it over and put it away.
I don't want to put it too far away because I might hop back on.
This is. And I know that we have at least a decent amount of listeners who are females. So, like, we see you, we feel you, and it hurts. And we hurt with you. And, yeah.
And
anyway, Scream 2.
Yeah, Scream 2. Before we get into it, if you want to talk, jump into our DMs, into our email. You can find us at No Show Monster on Twitter, noshowmonster@gmail.com. If you have suggestions for action items, tell us. Like, reach out on those. Just stick them on Twitter and tag us, and we will boost that. We are all looking for stuff we can do, tangible stuff we can do. Let us know if you have ideas or resources or whatever. We're a community. We have to do this our damn selves since the government isn't going to help. So let us know your ideas and your feelings. Just reach out with how you're feeling and we will commiserate.
Yeah.
So this was just a casual 40-minute intro.
Oh, jeez.
We're gonna get into Scream 2. Quick reminder, we are going to mention rape in Scream. It's a plot point. It's just a plot point. We don't go into details. It's not graphic. It happens off screen, but we are going to mention it. Heads up.
So enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to Never Show the Monster. I'm Kelly Attaway.
I'm Chelsea Hollander.
And today we are talking about Scream 2, continuing our series on 1997. But before we get into that, Chelsea and I were just discussing
books that we read in middle school.
That's good. You cut right to it. I was like trying to give context. But
I mean, if we want to go back, it took us a while to get to the books that we read in middle school.
But I think that we discovered Chelsea's fear of mirrors. I think we found the root.
I think so. There was a book that I got at the library called, I'm worried that I'm ruining the name, but I think it was called Stranger in the Mirror. And it was about a girl who is a teenager and she sees a girl in a mirror and she starts talking to her. of course she looks like her, but then she switches places with her. And the girl is legitimately evil and does evil things in her life. So maybe it was that. Maybe that built my fear of mirrors. We figured out why I am afraid of possessions. And now we're learning my fear of mirrors. So this is just me unpacking. And thank you guys for being on this journey with me. I'm learning so much about myself.
As you were describing that, it made me think of, isn't there an episode of Rugrats that does that? Could it have been Rugrats?
There's an episode of Rugrats. There's 100% an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark that does that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But I think that that's more like the girl in the mirror was not evil. Ooh, what's the one? Didn't Sister, the twins, Tia and Tamara Mallory? Oh, no, that was a snake one.
No mirrors. Not a mirror situation.
But I thought maybe there was a mirror situation in it. There's definitely, yeah.
Could it have been that I Love Lucy, where another famous comedian was on and they did the mirror bit?
No.
Okay.
Only because I did not watch enough I Love Lucy, and the only things I can probably talk about are
the chocolates.
Yeah.
And Vitamita Vegemin.
Is that the what about the foot, the grape stomping?
The grape stomping for I Love Lucy? Oh, I don't know this one.
Yeah, she did a bunch of grape stomping in one episode.
And you're not thinking of the YouTube video?
Probably am. Oh, where the lady falls over and makes the noise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where she was inspired by.
She was like, look, I'm Lucille Ball.
That's what happens every time I go stomp on grapes. I say, look, I'm Lucille Ball. And then I fall over to reenact both.
Yeah. Yeah. You're standing on the shoulders of giants. It's an homage to great performers who came before. There was a book I read, junior high, maybe. And when I say read, I mean halfway I read it. And then the person I was borrowing it from asked for it back. So I just didn't finish it. And I believe the book was called Sophie's Choice, but it was not like the literature where that
movie was from. It's a movie, right?
It could be a movie, but like the idea, I've got a real Sophie's Choice on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not that. It's different from that. But in it, it's like a philosophy book. It's fiction, and you follow one gal, probably her name is Sophie, and she like learns about various philosophers as she goes. Boring. That's part of why I haven't gone back for it. But there is a part where she looks into a mirror and blinks, and as she's like unblinking, she catches her reflection blinking. So there's like a split second delay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So sometimes I still think about that. Don't remember anything about the philosophers, but sure remember that mirror.
Is that a sign of something?
Oh, like
having like delayed perception. I don't know why. Something is like coming up for me with that. I don't know. Not enough for me to expand on it, I guess.
I bet that people perceive that in various forms of psychoses. Because like you can't act like that's not delayed perception, right? Like you can't have seen it and you're just now registering it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your eyes were closed. You cannot have seen it. So
yeah, that's a good point.
It's got to be some sort of misalignment of perception. Brains. Okay.
Interesting.
So
anyway, that has nothing to do with it.
Okay. So, Scream 2, written by Kevin Williamson, same guy who did I Know What You Did Last Summer, and directed by Wes Craven. You know him. You love him. He's a legend.
And I was going to say, can we pause for a second on this?
Oh, yeah.
I like to know what you did last summer. You guys know that from the last episode. It was very enjoyable to watch. But Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer are in leagues of their own. Like, Scream is amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the fact that that guy wrote both movies shows you how important a good director is to a movie.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and even in Scream 2, you have some actors that are actress.
Yeah.
That is overlapping between the two. And one of them was more believable and also somehow aged like 10 years I don't know. There's like my brain was like, this is not the same. They came out the same year. How weird is this? But that's the biggest thing for me between the two movies. Same writer, but they're like same writer, same almost. It's not the same cast, but it's the same type of people that were famous at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But what Wes Craven, and this is why he's won the greats. Wes Craven did with it, just you guys couldn't see, but there was like a chef's kiss in this moment. Or I'm just like coming up to my microphone. I've lost it today.
Oh, I love that because it sounds like you're kissing like a small animal or something. Like you said, chef's kiss, and then you did like a kiss storm.
The food's just so good. Also, my cat was just here. So I did picture Petty whenever that happened. So you're not wrong.
Yep. Oh my God. Can we get like windscreens for our microphones that look like our cats?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. We were just talking about what business we were going to start. I think we found it. Copyright, trademark.
We have so many great business ideas. Someone's going to capitalize off of them.
The other thing I noticed about this movie, I did not do any research apart from like the first paragraph on Wikipedia, is the Scream bad guy was based on the Gainesville Ripper, an actual serial killer. And I just listened to a podcast about him like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
So when I pulled up the Wikipedia, I was like, oh, I must have searched the wrong thing. Like, how did I land here? And then realized that no, it was this guy. The kills are very different. So it is super loosely based on the Gainesville Ripper.
Intent the same?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that guy was not murdering people he knew. As far as I remember, he was murdering college students, co-eds. I seem to remember there being some like Ted Bundy parallels. And his murders were like, he staged them for shock value for whoever found the bodies, which is not something that happens in Scream. They're slashers. They're like Scream is just straight up slasher, like slash and run.
Like postcard killings?
Oh, yeah, not quite that elaborate, but yeah, there's one. He staged a woman he had raped and murdered with like her legs spread, facing the door, and he beheaded her and set her head up on a bookshelf near the rest of her body and posed it so that it looked like the head was looking at the body. And he also set up a mirror so that when whoever walked in the door saw not only the spread legs, but the reflection of the head in the mirror.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that like artistically done, I guess? I don't.
Very creative.
Yeah. I just wish it wasn't like evil creative. Like, right, I mean, like, I've seen a couple art pieces that use similar things, but wish it wasn't in this context.
Right. Like, let's go inanimate. Let's not remove the animate part of something, you know?
Agreed. 100%.
Okay, so now that we have made our position on murder clear.
Have we? Is that clear?
Don't do it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm going to rip that and make a trailer for the show. Don't murder. Okay, let's get into the main characters. Before we do the plot for Scream 2, I am going to cover Scream 1 a little bit. So first, these main characters are the characters who span between the movies. First up, we've got Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. You know her. You love her. She is our main protagonist. She's in high school at the start of this movie, and she's like goody two-shoes, virginal. That's how you know it's a slasher movie. But she is smart. She's not ditzy, which is a trope we see in a lot of older slasher movies, I think. Then we've got Randy, played by Jamie Kennedy. He's a dork and he loves horror movies, which I identify with both of those things.
We are the Jamie Kennedy. If we were
Jamie Kennedy,
in the movie, we would be the Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, which is a bummer because I do talk about him sort of disparagingly. But, you know, I talk about myself disparagingly. So it still lines up. And he is basically our Ducky from 16 Candles. He is in love with Sydney, and it's not going to happen. Then we've got Deputy Dewey, played by David Arquette. He's a young police officer in the town where Scream happens, which is Woodsboro. I don't know the state. Do you know the state?
I don't know why I thought it was California, but I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's sort of a small town. Everybody seems to know each other. He is a family friend of Sydney's. And then we've got Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox. She is a bitchy tabloid journalist. Oh, nice. Thanks.
Bitchy tabloid journalist. 100%.
Bitchy tabloid journalist, not a weather woman, even though her name is Gail Weathers. I don't know how she finagled that, but excellent for her. So in Scream 1, there are a couple other characters we got to cover. This one came out in 1996, just a year before Scream 2. And we've got Billy Loomis, played by Skeet Ulrich. He's Sydney's boyfriend. He's brooding. He's got curtain bangs. And he
greasy
never blinks.
hair. I know you're saying curtain bangs, but it looks like he hasn't showered in like months.
Oh, yeah. No, it's gross.
It's some like thick or just like
no,
some
he's
extreme
got like a pomade.
Yeah.
God. Boy.
You know what? One of us could just talk and it would be both of us talking anyways.
No, I like it when we do it at the same time. I feel like we're the Beastie Boys. Curtain bangs, brooding, pomade. And he is also a certified cutie patootie. I love Skeet Ulrich. I can't help it. I had a crush on him in 96. I've got a crush on him now in Riverdale, not as the child, although he is still handsome. I did look it up. He was 26 in this movie, so it's fine for me to think he was cute.
I was going to say, I loved him from Jericho.
I remember you loving him from Jericho.
So much, in like an absurd amount, but in no other, like I saw him in The Craft. I saw him in other things, and I was just like, he's fine. But man, if you give me like a post-apocalyptic drama, I'm going to fall in love with someone.
Oh, shit.
And it's unfortunate that his name is Skeet. So,
well, what can you do? Up next, we've got Stu, played by Matthew Lillard. He's Billy's BFF. He's energetic. He's got a long tongue. He is also tall. I don't know. I struggled with being able to describe him well.
Description. He is tall. He is basically, we know him as Shaggy. He's like a more energetic Shaggy.
Yeah. And like cruder, like a cruder Shaggy. Like Stu is going to say tits, you know, and Shaggy would never. Then there's Tatum, played by Rose McGowan. She is Sydney's friend and Dewey's younger sister. And we've got Casey, played by Drew Barrymore. She is also a high schooler, and she is our first victim, which is not a spoiler. It happens immediately. And I'm sorry, this movie came out in 1996, and this scene is iconic. So if you haven't seen it, like, why are you listening to a horror movie podcast? Thank you. I love that you're here.
But it's a question that needs to be asked in this moment.
I even feel like if you're sitting there and thinking, oh shit, I don't know this scene at all. Yes, you do. Give it a quick Google. Yeah. You know what it is. You for sure know what it is. So the movie opens with this classic scene with Casey. She's answering the phone and she's home alone, and an unidentified voice on the other end asks her what her favorite movie is, which seems like, what her favorite horror movie is. Horror movie. And this seems like it's going to be a pretty fun conversation. Like Chelsea and I just did a whole podcast episode basically on that topic. But the caller very quickly escalates, revealing that he is watching her and that he's just casually murdered her boyfriend on the back porch. The killer then bursts in his now iconic ghost-faced costume. You know this. You've seen it every year for Halloween since 1996. It's the black robe with the ghostly Halloween mask.
And it's based off of the painting by
Edward.
Yeah.
By who?
Edward Monk. Edward. I thought it was Edward Monk.
Right.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think I'm right because I thought it was Dolly for some reason because it was surreal. And I was definitely wrong, obviously. Yeah, Edward Monk.
Edward Monk. Okay.
Munch?
Oh, Munch.
You guys know I can't pronounce things, and I didn't look this up prior to this. I try to look up names that I can't pronounce, but I didn't. I mean, I'm just going with the flow, so I didn't think that I'd have to.
Yeah, sorry. We were just doing vibes, and I asked for a fact. That was on me. That was my bad. No. So that's what he's wearing, and he bursts in, and predictably, Casey gets got. When her parents do eventually find her body, she has been gutted, and she had been wearing this like cute, pristine white sweater, and that's obviously now drenched in blood, and she has been hung from a tree. And then classic news media descends upon the town, Woodsboro, and specifically the high school. And we start meeting our main characters. We learn that a year before, like almost to the day, Sydney's mother, Maureen, was brutally raped and murdered by a man named Cotton Weary. And Sydney's testimony was critical to his conviction. Conviction, you know. Convention.
Like Comic-Con.
Yeah, there's a...
What? A murder convention. Critical to his murder convention?
I'd go to a murder convention.
What kind of convention? Would it be to talk about murderers, or would it be I mean, I feel like that would get a lot of draw. Another business idea.
I think that this already exists. I'm pretty sure that there's a true crime convention. And
there's got to be like 20 of them.
Oh,
there
yeah.
Just be one. There's got to be a ton.
I bet it's like Comic-Con, though, where there's like the one big one that you're like, you go to once every couple years, and you like put all of your money into your costumes.
Dress up? Yeah. What do you dress up?
You have to, right?
Do you dress up as a victim?
Oh, you know what? I bet that there are different like classes of this. I bet that there are true crime conventions where it's like the Michelle McNamara's of the world, who are really committed to solving crimes and like bringing justice to the victims. And then I bet there are the ones where you dress up really disrespectfully.
Let's guess which one I would be.
I feel like I would go to both. I would go to each. And never the twain shall meet. Like
whatever you dress up, you make sure it is very, very well done. So
yeah, like I get really into contouring.
I'm glad we thought this out. So yeah, look for us next time, guys. You might not find us.
Tweet us at No Show Monster. Let us know which ones you're going to. We'll see you there. Should we set up a signing booth? I don't know. So yeah, Sydney's testimony put Cotton Weary away. Mm-hmm. And during the trial, she was like totally hounded by Gail Weathers, the tabloid journalist, insisting that Cotton was innocent and spreading pretty nasty rumors about Maureen, saying that she was having multiple affairs around town, and not like explicitly implying that she was asking for it, but also like not implying that. You know what I mean?
Did we talk about Gail?
Yeah, she's the bitchy tabloid journalist.
Played by Courtney Cox.
Yep, Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
She's hot and she's mean.
She is hot and mean. I think that's the best description you could give
yep. Which is just how I like
and
them.
It's like she tries to one-up hair decisions from...
I know.
She, like the... like Jennifer Aniston. Everyone knows the Rachel. It's like she was trying to one them up in the Scream movies. She was like, how can I get my signature haircut in each of these movies?
Yeah.
None of them are a signature.
She's got like big teased hair in this one, in this Scream, like John Benet Ramsey style. Mm-hmm. And then in Scream 2, I've got a whole section on it in my plot recap.
So we'll
just save that. So yeah, we're with Sydney, and she receives a call from the killer while she's at home alone. Her dad is out of town for work, so she's just chilling like in her nightie. And After Ghostface unsuccessfully attacks her in her home, Billy shows up very suspiciously with a cell phone. You'll remember this is 1996. So, like, why has he got that cell phone? And this is where we start to suspect him. And maybe if he'd blink once in a while, we wouldn't be so quick to assume he could commit murder. Just a suggestion. He is arrested and questioned, but ultimately released when the menacing calls are traced back to Sydney's dad's phone. And we can't get in touch with him. So that's very troubling. And Billy ends up saying some real shitty stuff to Sydney. He's telling her to get over her mom's death. He's like, well, I got over it when my mom left town. Why can't you? And both of these nerds need therapy so bad. Like, you guys, what? Billy, why can't you get over it? And Sydney reacts well. She's like, your mom left town. My mom's in a coffin. It's not the same. It's not the same, Billy.
And it was so weird that he equated it to that. I was not a fan of him.
No, that sucked.
Yeah, I mean, even I really wanted to like him because he is moderately foxy. But man, it sucks so bad in every aspect. Like, he just is not a good boyfriend, not a good person. I can't feel good about him. Nope. I wanted to fall in love with him.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But good news, in light of the murders, school gets canceled. So Stu, that's Matthew Lillard, throws a rager to celebrate. And Gail is being a creep outside. She's just like watching all these teens partying because she suspects that the killer will also probably show up. And in addition to that, she's like totally chasing her 15 minutes of fame. She really wants to get the scoop on this murderer. Deputy Dewey is also outside of this rager. He's suspecting the same thing, but like for way nobler reasons. And as I was writing that, I was like, oh no, is this propaganda? Did I get got by propaganda?
I was in. Well, yeah, you may have.
I did.
He's very lovable. It's
so lovable.
You're rooting for him. He's just like, he's what you want Billy to be, and it's so upsetting. So yeah, I'm happy he's at. I'm happy he's at the party because you just feel better with him there.
He just puts a smile on my face.
Though he's not like great at his job.
No, he needs to shut the fuck up and learn how to say no comment.
Yeah, he struggles. Yeah, we've fallen for it.
But I like him. And yeah, both of them were right. Ghostface totally shows up at this party and he kills Tatum, Rose McGowan, Sydney's friend, with the garage door. And while she's getting crushed, a couple of things are happening. One, Randy is with a group of other kids watching a horror movie and he is explaining the rules of surviving the genre. This is another super classic scene from Scream. The rules are never say, I'll be right back, or you'll for sure never be right back. No drugs or alcohol, or you will be punished for your vices. And most importantly, never, ever, ever have sex. The other thing that's happening at this moment is Sydney and Billy finally have sex. So we're in trouble. I will say in this scene, he does ask for verbal consent before they proceed. And I liked that. I did like that.
Yeah. His attitude towards it, he was very pressuring. And he would be like, I'm not pressuring you, but I'm pressuring you. And it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. But I do like that when it came down to it, he said, are you sure?
That's true. That is
true. Waited for confirmation. So,
I mean, if you guys need tips from this, that's what you should take from it.
And so as they are wrapping up, not like condom wrapping up, like not like finishing.
Do we know if they did?
We don't know if they did. We don't know what protections they took or whether anybody finished. However, when they decide to move on to a different activity, they are getting dressed and Ghostface bursts in. And so Sydney runs away and people are getting injured or killed left and right. Like Gail's cameraman dies. Gail gets in a car accident. Dewey gets stabbed in the back. Don't worry, he lives. And people are throwing around accusations about who is the murderer all willy-nilly. And we think after this scene that maybe Billy is on our side because he does get a little cut from Ghostface, but pretty quickly after all the mayhem, Billy shoots Randy, who also survives, revealing himself as the killer. But then, in the same scene, Stu talks into a little voice-changing gadget, revealing that he is a second killer. They are the ones who raped and killed Sydney's mother a year ago because Billy blames her for his mother leaving. So Maureen was, in fact, having an affair with Billy's dad, and he blames her for the marriage breaking up and him losing his mom. And throughout this movie, they've had Sydney's dad held hostage, and their plan is to kill them both, Sydney and her dad, framing her dad as the murderer. And so they take turns, like stabbing each other in the kitchen to play victim when the police get there. And we get the classic Matthew Lillard line, "I think I'm dying here, man." Because Billy stabbed him too deep, because Billy cannot control his rage. Fortunately, Sydney gets away with Gail's help and ultimately kills Stu. And when Billy tries to attack Sydney again, Gail shoots him. And although he looks defeated, he does pop back up again one more time, and Sydney shoots him right in the head. And that is the end of the first movie. 10 out of 10. We love it.
So good.
It's so good. And something I want to stress is I'm not hitting the jokes, but there is so much humor in these movies. Yeah, it's so funny.
And that is something I kind of want to talk about before we move on to Scream 2. We know that Scary Movie came out, I think, not shortly after this came out in 97. I did look it up. Scary Movie came out in early 2000s, 2000 or 2001.
That's right.
And this is a parody of horror movies. It's a horror movie that's a parody of horror movies.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fully a parody, but it's absolutely self-aware.
Yeah.
It is, especially Scream 2. Scream 2 makes fun of itself throughout the whole thing. Yeah.
And I just remember watching, and this is the thing, and I am very ashamed of myself for saying this. I did see I Know What You Did Last Summer. I know 100% I saw that. I don't think I knew I had watched Scream in pieces. I don't think I ever watched it all the way, because I think, once again, that was a TV show or TV watch where I would watch certain scenes from it, but I never got all of it.
This was such a treat for you then.
Good. And I was telling Kelly right before this, I have watched. So I rented it because I could not. I'm gonna end up purchasing it.
I know, I should have just bought it.
I've already watched it 2 times. I watched the first one 2 times. I only got to watch Scream 2 once. But holy shit, this series of movies is so fucking good.
So good.
I'm going to watch the rest of them now. And I feel like I've been sleeping on this for so long because I thought I had seen it. I did not see it. I did not get the jokes. It is so good.
It's so good. Yeah, I remembered the original pretty well. I did not remember Scream 2 very well. There's really only one scene that I super remember from Scream 2. And I haven't seen any of the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, I have never seen Scream 2. I had never seen any of the ones after it. And I watched trailers for later ones, but it's literally everyone who's up and coming are in these movies. I don't know. It's so great. And the casting for all of these are just so good. And these movies just make me so happy. And they're everything I love about the world. And I guess the worst way, because it is about murder. But it's great.
I know.
It's so good.
But what's especially funny is I don't even like slashers. When people just think about that genre, I'm like, ew, yuck.
Halloween just gonna see and Friday the 13th. Is that the other ones you're weighing them against?
So I really like the newer Halloweens.
Oh, okay.
I should be more specific about that. The new one with Jamie Lee Curtis. I haven't seen the newest one yet, but that's part of the same bundle of movies. Mm-hmm. And I will see the latest one because I really liked the one that came out before that. I know that there's some controversy around some of the other ones. You made a face. I'm not talking Weinstein controversy. I just mean some people are like, boo, bad movie. And some people are like, we love it.
Gotcha.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis plays a professor at some point.
And she wasn't believable as a professor?
I think people just pretend that
her
movie
with yogurt
isn't canon. So that's something I have to say about the Halloween reboot that I did watch, the one that came out in, maybe
so I didn't
2020,
watch it. Are you about
2019, 2020?
2019. Are you about to tell me
it was 2019.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. There was something that I saw in 2019. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Sorry. I'll get to that with Scream too. But are you going to tell me that there was an Activia product placement?
No, which is my whole problem. So there is a scene where Jamie Lee Curtis is eating yogurt. We never see a label. Nobody says anything about probiotics or like getting you moving. You cannot have Jamie Lee Curtis eating yogurt
and it not be Activia
in 2019 and not mention it.
That's rude.
Like what? You could have changed that. Make her have cereal, you know? Like why
are you telling me that this is the controversy? This is the main controversy without a doubt in my mind. I haven't seen it, but I'm enraged right now.
Oh, so, really good movie though. I recommend watching it.
After I watch the other 15 Scream movies.
I know. I've got all of these to do. Yeah. Did you see that Neve Campbell is not on for
the new one?
For the newest one, yeah.
Does that come out? That comes out this year, is that right?
I don't know.
Was she in the last? She wasn't.
She's been in all of them.
Oh, I didn't know that. Spoiler. She doesn't die in this one.
Yeah, she lives.
In case you guys were wondering. Oh, she is in the new one though.
Yes. So the one that just came out. Oh, she might not be in the TV show, but the movie that just came out, yes, she's in that. Oh, but they are in negotiations for the next movie.
Oh, 2023.
And she's not going to be in that one because they wouldn't pay her enough.
Good.
Fucking pay her.
I'm glad that she's not going to be in it. Yeah, that's completely unfair. There was something.
No, let's follow up on that. You're not glad that she's not going to be in it. You're glad that she stood up for herself.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. 100%. I feel like there was something that I read and it was out of context, but now I understand it based on what you said. But somebody else, it might have been Matthew Lillard saying that he was glad that she stood up for herself and she deserves to be paid all of this money because she's part of the reason that the series is still good.
Yeah, pay her every penny. You know? It's not like this franchise is hurting for money.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. You may have noticed we only got to Scream 1 today. Surprise! We will cover Scream 2 next week. We ended up talking about the Roe v. Wade situation longer than we thought we would. In the meantime, while you wait for the next episode, please consider donating to your local abortion funds or NARAL or the other resources we mentioned at the top of the show. And we will see you next week. Please remember to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. And you can find us on Twitter at NoShowMonster or write to us at noshowmonster@gmail.com. Please stay safe out there. Take care of each other. And we will see you next week. Happy spookies.